Yo dudes, what's up? This is PlanetKeef, I'm Keef, and today I've got a new toy. I'm going to unbox it, assemble it and play with it. It's an Evolution R255 SMS Plus sliding Mitre saw. About a year ago I bought an Evolution Rage 3S sliding Mitre saw and did a video review of it, and you know, I was very pleased with it then. I still am. It's a great piece of kit. But a few weeks ago I got an email from Evolution saying, "We got a bigger one, do you want to play with it? Do you want one?" And I said, well actually I was a bit I mean, I was very pleased, but then what do I do with the old one? Anyway, so I'm going to give that to a local charity if I can find one that'll take it, and I'll have space for this monster. So let's just do a quick tour of the box first. So there it is, and it's multi-material. They're showing copper, aluminium, steel, well, timber. Timber with nails in it, or screws, and plastic. It can do all of those things really well without changing the blade. Quite amazing. Powerful. It's a 2000 watt motor. The 110 volt version is 1600 watts, and accurate. Yep, I guess they're right. So here we've got some pictures of different features. It has a laser guide. It has hard stops at 0, 15, 22.5, 30 and 45 degrees on either side. It can bevel 0 to 45, but only in one direction. And the release lever for the cutting head, you can just operate it with your thumb, which is pretty neat. There is a saw stand that you can buy separately. This one shows the automatic retracting safety guard. 2 meters of cable, which you can neatly wrap around these two lug things. And what's that? Diamond blade sold separately if you want to cut stone, ceramics, glass, etc. Dum dum dum. Lots of translations and more pictures. Again, the kind of materials that you can cut, and 3-year guarantee. So that's the box. Lovely box. Let's see what's inside. Tons of sellotape. Right on the top, a nice single page how to put it together. Very good, like that. Manual, guarantee, big heavy cutting disc, two bits of plastic, another bit of plastic, quite substantial clamp. Possibly an adapter for the vacuum extractor that might fit different sizes of vacuum hoses. That's good. Ooh, look at that big chunky handle and sliding rods. Yeah, I think I know what that is. What's this? A pencil case. Oh, a dust bag. Oh, very good. Oh yeah. So you can stick that on the back end if you haven't got a vacuum extraction system. That's splendid. There's an orange thing in here. Aha. That'll be the knob to fix the angle when you're doing a mitre cut. And I don't know, it looks useful though. Okay. Polystyrene. Wow. Part of the machine. is heavy. Okay, this is the bit that holds the blade and has the massive motor in it. And the power cable. More polystyrene. More polystyrene. And the base. Wow, it's gigantic. And there it is. That is actually a thing of beauty. Wow. The angle scale is very, very clear, and we've also got a measuring scale on the upstand here, which is very, very clear. Anyway, yeah, lots to play with. I think first thing I need to do is read the manual. So it's a bit late in the day to do anything more. I'll come back to this tomorrow morning, put it together and chop up some things. So I've had a look through the instructions, and it seems there's actually two different models of this. There's the 225 SMS and 225 SMS Plus, and it looks like this is the Plus version, even though the box doesn't particularly say so. So what you get with the Plus version is a carry handle, which could be useful because they are ungainly things. A tall fence, the dust bag extractor thing, a cover for the slide rails. The hold down clamp has three pieces. The basic one is just bent over, which, you know, so I guess this must be better. And a front clamp that might be useful. And the blade supplied is 28 tooth as opposed to 24 tooth for the basic model. But apart from that, same. Right, let's build it. Now, you shouldn't need to be told because you are sensible adults, but do not plug it in until it's all completely assembled and you've gone through the checklist and everything. And also, if you're changing the blade, unplug it, but you know that. Okay, job number one is to fit the Mitre locking knob. Now, there's a locking lever here which only works when it engages into the notches, you know, for the preset sort of standard angles that you'll do. But if you're between those, then it won't lock. So that's what this is for. And it just goes in that hole, and there's a threaded boss inside that it screws into. Okay, so that's nice and tight, and that's not going anywhere unless you loosen it, and then it will. Job number two is to adjust the bevel neck so that it's straight up with the pointer at 0, and to do that you unscrew this big chunky knob at the back, and well, I can't move it. It should tilt so that we can cut at 45 degrees or less than that, but that will not move. We'll come back to that. Job number three is insert the carriage slide. When I assembled my Rage 3S, I got this wrong, and on this one I also got it wrong. I had it upside down. You need to have it this way up on this model. On the basic model, this assembly is different, but if you've got Evolution, the readable way up, then you're good to go. So that just pops through these two holes. Make sure that's unscrewed, and that's that job done. There's a bit of a gotcha. These two things, once it's all assembled, these pop in and those two lugs click out, and if that's already happened, then you're going to have to reset them. and worry not, it's quite easy. Just press that spring-loaded lug, and get a bradawl or a little screwdriver and pull that out so that the lug's back where it should be. Fourth job is to fit the cutting head and this beast weighs a ton because it's got the motor. What you need to do is get those holes over the rails. And as you push it, the lugs on the end will release the lugs on the side, which will locate into these holes with a satisfying click, like that. Job number 5 on the Plus model is to fit the slider rail cover. Doesn't apply to the basic model because you don't get this. So what you need to do now is remove the locking knob and spring. That lug locates in there first, and then you can push this down till it goes clunk, and refit the knob and its spring. Job number 6 is to fit these extension bits either side of the table, and obviously they're left and right handed. So you need to remove these hex screws using the provided key, which fits into a nifty little space there. So I guess these are just to give more support to your workpiece. Step number 7, I think, is to fit the cable guide, cable grip, and also cable wrap. So you need the slide as far forward as it will go, and you want the cable just clipped into there, and locate it on that lug and fix it with this hex bolt. Just make sure it's not overstretched or anything. That looks fine. And then if you ever have a period where you're not using it, you can wrap the cable around those two elements. All good. Step number 8, the final one, installing the blade. I recommend you wear gloves for this because it is sharp. So what you need to do is unscrew this arbor, and 2 things to note. It's a left-hand thread, which means it's the opposite from what you would normally do. So to unscrew it, you need to turn it clockwise. But if you do that, it just goes round and round and round forever, because we need to lock that axle. And there's a little doohickey for doing that. Well, actually a button just there. Don't know if you can see it. So you press that and that locks the axle here. So we get that off. Get the blade out of the packaging. And we need to drop this down so we can raise the guard. You need 3 hands to do this, really. And then position the blade over that projecting boss. When you fit the blade, you need to make sure you get it the right way around. So there's 2 ways to do that. One is that the printed side is visible, on the same side that you do the fixing. The other is, there's printed on here is the direction of rotation, which needs to match the arrow that's embossed on the guard. Put this on with the beveled face outwards, and make sure the flat bits lock onto the side of that. Get rid of the gloves now. Hand tighten that. Again, going the wrong way, going anti-clockwise to tighten it. And then press down the lock button and tighten it with the provided Allen key. There we go. Lovely blade. And here it is, fully assembled, and I don't mind telling you, I think it's beautiful. If I had a bigger house and a bigger coffee table, I'd be quite happy to sit that on as a piece of sculpture. It's wow. You wouldn't think you could make a thing like a sliding mitre saw look so good. But well done, Evolution. I also dreamed about it last night as being a spaceship in a sci-fi movie, you know, terraforming planets. This bit comes off and flies around and cuts valleys and mountains and things. And yeah, I need to get out more. Right, we're almost done, apart from those two little glitches. The bevel thing and the missing bit on the front clamp. So I got in touch with Evolution tech support and they got back to me pretty quickly. So they've got a replacement of that in the post today. I should get it pretty soon. The other item, the tilt, the bevel, they said it's probably that overzealous robot in China. So what I need to do is loosen the nut that holds the whole thing on a little bit, and it's 17mm diameter. I don't have a great selection of spanners, but I remember there's a wrench in the toolkit with my car for taking the wheels off. I didn't know what size it was, but I went and found it, and guess what? It is exactly the right size. There we go. So maybe that's a standard thing, maybe you've got one if you have this problem. So I've got the replacement front clamp, and as I suspected, it's just the bit that was missing is just a bit of a steel rod threaded and fits into the hole there. So, and then that pops into this hole in the base, and we can clamp things from the front. So Evolution also sent me a box of materials to test it with. So we've got some plastic piping, we've got a little bit of softwood, got some galvanised steel stud work. Ooh, that could be challenging. That looks like laminated MDF or foil covered MDF. Chunky bit of softwood with screws in it, and a big heavy chunk of steel pipe. I'll save that till last. I've also got a few things of my own that I'm going to try. So let's don the goggles and the hearing protectors and the gloves and give it a go. So we've got the laser switched on. The switch for the laser is positioned here on the right side of the handle. Now, one really lovely feature of this is it's got a slow start. Starts off slow. And that's a lovely clean cut. There's no real splintering or tear out at all. Let's try a mitre cut. Again, that's fantastically clean. That is super impressive. Okay, chunk of wood with screws in it. Yeah, baby. Now, well, I've got this plastic pipe, and one nice feature of the hold down clamp is it's not a flat plate. It's kind of, you know, it's got kinks in it, so it can grip a curved item. Should we do a mitre on that? Yeah. Easy peasy. Okay, bit of galvanised steel studding. Right, this is possibly the ultimate challenge, is big chunky steel tube. Wowza. Alright, well the actual cut is pretty neat. A lot of, I don't know, is that swarf you call that? I don't know, I'm not a metal bloke. But yeah, so that's the things that Evolution sent. Now I've got some big, wide, fat timber to try. So this bit of wood is 280mm wide, about 11 inches, which is quite large. Okay, that was a bit tricky with the guard there, but it works if you know what you're doing. Again, lovely cut. Now let's get a thick, chunky bit of oak. So this is 6.5 by 2.25 inches oak. Shazam! I love it. Oh, that is really smooth. Actually, I haven't tested the depth cut yet, so I've got it set to just go about halfway down this bit of wood. This little thing had me mystified. It moves backwards and forwards, but it turns out what it is, if for whatever reason, I don't know what possible reason there could be, if you want to cut a bevel at 33.9 degrees, shove that forward, and then when you tilt it, it will stop against here, and that's your 33.9 degree bevel. I'm sure somebody knows what that's useful for, and I'm sure they'll tell me in the comments. So now we can do bevels. Let's do some bevel cuts and compound cuts. So we'll just do a straightforward bevel in this bit of softwood, and you need to remember to move the upper part of the fence out of the way. Let's set our bevel. Okay, a slight problem. We're hitting the hold down clamp here. So basically you need to make sure your bit of wood is long enough so that the clamp can go on the far side of where the blade is angled. So I've got this set to 30 degrees, a simple bevel. Now let's do a compound cut. So we've got the 30 still set, and just twizzle this round to 30 as well, and off we go. Nope, not going. The clamp's in the way again. Just cleared it. There we go. Alright, so if it doesn't go all the way through, it's because it's hitting the hold down clamp. So that could be a tad better designed, I think. I'm just going to do a little test to see how effective the dust bag is. First of all, I'll just make a cut through this chunk of wood and see how much mess we get without the bag. The technical answer is quite a lot. So let's fit the bag on. It's got a kind of springy wire thing to... open the aperture and then hold it closed. Okay, so there's a little bit around here, but virtually none up there where the bag is and where most of the dust was previously. So yeah, I'll be using that. Okay, so that's the Evolution R255 SMS Plus, and my conclusion: what a fabulous machine! It's beautifully styled and engineered. It's very well made, very solid build, and yeah, looks great and it works great. Couple of downsides: quality control could be better. The missing bit on the front clamp, it's not the end of the world, but it had me baffled. And the other thing, the jammed bevel tilt. Oh, it wasn't jammed, it was just over tightened. So very easily resolved and very quickly resolved, but really shouldn't have happened in the first place. And the other thing, well, it's a combination of two things. I'm left-handed, and this is a right-handed machine. It really is. You know, you've got this whopping great motor here that means all of that is, you know, nothing. And it also means that the hold down clamp can only be used from this side, and it means that when you bevel it or tilt it, this gets in the way. So that whole mechanism of the fence and how you safely hold your workpiece, I think they need to really, you know, sit down and think about that seriously. It's not an afterthought. It's not something you just stick on after. It's an essential part of how to safely use the machine. And you know, for me, I'm not an engineer, I'm a designer. I would put that motor on the top, and then that solves all your problems with interference with any clamps that are in use. I know engineering wise, then you're not driving the blade directly, you would need some kind of transmission mechanism, but you know, it's the 21st century, it can be done. It would add, you know, a small amount to the price, but I think it would be worth it, and I think it would be a positive selling point for Evolution, because I don't think anybody else does that. Anyway, the verdict: 4.5 out of 5. It's a fantastic thing, so really worth considering. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, etc. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.